Good morning, everyone. It's the end of the week at City Hall. I hope everyone enjoyed celebrating Juneteenth yesterday. I know we had some celebrations last weekend, but I hope everyone enjoyed celebrating Juneteenth yesterday. And today, June 20th, it's the longest day of the year. Most sunlight, daylight we're going to have, but don't be afraid. You'll barely be able to detect the slow reduction of sunlight, but today is the longest day of the year. And we have some really summer weather coming in the beginning of next week. Temperatures are projected in the low 90s, so I'll give you a little bit more on that when toward the end. Some things that I want to update everyone on. First, Food Truck Thursday begins next Thursday, June 26th. It'll be the kickoff of this season's Food Truck Thursdays. Please get yourself down there. Currently, and we'll get out some text alerts as well as Facebook posts on this, but Custodian Parisi will be entertaining, and we have several food trucks on tap for you there on Thursday, June 26th. So between 11 and 1:30 out in front of the train station. Get yourself down there. It's great, rain or shine, because if it's a beautiful day, you can sort of sit out there, listen to the music, and enjoy the delicious food. If it's a little less pleasant, there's room inside as well in the train station for you to still enjoy the food and the music. So June 26th, it kicks off yet another season. This, I think, is season 8 of Food Truck Thursday, so please go out and enjoy it. Again, our friends, the board and the administration over at the public library have showtime. So we have this coming Wednesday, we have The Fire Inside is showing at 2 p.m. They categorize it as films for older viewers. So June 25th, they're having a film, The Fire Inside, 2 p.m. At the Main Street Library Auditorium. If you want to go and watch that film, it'll be 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Also, excuse me, on our website, if you go to the Resident tab and click on there, you'll see a drop-down menu. It'll talk about youth services. I believe that's the heading. If you click on youth services, you will see the 2025 summer youth programs listing. It has everything in here. It's several pages of wonderful activities of all kinds, golfing, camps, science, all kinds of things from our partners, from the Boys and Girls Club, the school district, the Y. We have a number of groups, individuals, community agencies that are partnering to provide programs for kids and teens all throughout the summer. So if you're interested in taking a look at that, again, go to the city's website. Under the Resident tab, you'll get a drop-down menu that says Youth Services. Click on Youth Services, and you'll see it right there online for you. Also, yesterday was very exciting. We were pleased to have the majority leader of the New York State Assembly, Crystal Peoples-Stokes, joined us for the presentation of the feasibility study on the Event Center and Park, what is commonly called Centennial Park. The Event Center and Park, the feasibility study indicates several things. One, that the site selection is the appropriate site for this downtown. Two, that in the first 5 years, it projects a $50 million economic impact. $50 million. It also projects 50,000 additional hotel room nights annually. So what you see in the feasibility study is what I think anecdotally all of us knew. The timing is right. You see hotels being built downtown. We're aware of the amateur and youth sports industry and how it is growing. The feasibility study will talk about how it's exploding everywhere, and facilities in other parts of the country have popped up to take advantage of it. The location in the country that has the least amount of facilities for that, Northeast, right where we are. So you take that data, you mix into it the fact that our location also gives us access to an incredible population in southern Ontario. And then the fact that we're Niagara Falls. And Niagara Falls, even though I know, many of our residents often don't take enough pride in the fact that we are a brand name known worldwide. But the fact is, folks on the outside looking in, they're drawn here because it is Niagara Falls. So you take all of those ingredients, which have been distilled into the feasibility study, and you think to yourself, this is almost a no-brainer. Now the question will be, and the questions that were asked yesterday had to do with how do you finance an event center that is projected to cost somewhere in the $200 million range. And those are the most appropriate questions in this phase, right? Because the first phase was, the concept and then getting the appropriate site. The next phase is, instead of us just talking about this in a sort of theoretical way, let's take a look at the nuts and bolts of, does something like this drive the economic impact that we hope it is? You got some naysayers out there that say, reports indicate that arenas are not profitable. Well, that may be in locations where some of them rest. And it also may be when you're talking about larger venues, stadiums, the flap that's going on right now in places like Cleveland, or the argument that was even made with regard to the city of Buffalo and Orchard Park and the competition as to where will we put the new Bills Stadium. I would agree that, when you're going to build a venue that's going to have tens of thousands of people capacity, and then you ask yourself, okay, what do we do with this thing, after the season, in this case, after the football season? Like, how do you deal with filling it? Okay, so you might have a couple of concerts, and these days, performances that fill those size venues are far and few between. But when you take a look at the size of the facility that we are building or proposing to build, as one of our consultants said, they defy you to find a place in America where a facility this size, particularly when you add the other ingredients of this is Niagara Falls, our proximity to our Canadian neighbors, and some will say, well, geez, we've got this bad relationship now between the two national governments. The national governments will say and do the things that they do, but the reality is commerce still continues here along us border communities. It would be inappropriate, in fact untrue, to suggest that no Canadians are coming here for commerce. They are. They absolutely are. Now, do numbers reflect that hotel stays relative to some of our Canadian friends are lower? Absolutely. There are some other things that militate against that. Economies sometimes create those problems. But in the end, when we're talking about youth and amateur sports, families will travel for that purpose. And when you build the kind of facility that we're talking about building, and you couple the fact that it will have the capacity to welcome those youth and amateur sports, and the fact that we have already gotten a commitment to build the arena, and once the arena is built, that the Ontario Hockey League is prepared to provide a franchise. Now you got to remember, that's not like an open-ended invitation that lasts forever and ever. That's why, sometimes you have to strike while the iron's hot. And I would say that the iron here is as hot as it's ever been. You have new hotels, as I said, coming into play in our community, other hotels that are expanding their space. So something has to be percolating in the business community. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing that. Those investors would not be doing those kinds of things if they didn't feel comfortable about the growth opportunity here. So I guess what I would say is it's always easy to be a naysayer. Oh, geez, we shouldn't do that, or oh my God, that's too much money, and what are we going to do? You know, the next phase now is to figure out how do you fund the development of this. And we'll be digging into that. We'll be digging into the most efficient ways, the most effective ways to do that, and we'll be having conversations with our partners at every level of government and with private entities. So we'll give you more as we learn more, but we're excited about the feasibility studies outcomes. We think that it validates what I think all of us knew anecdotally, that the right size venue with partnerships, including the Seneca Nation of Indians through the Seneca Niagara Gaming facility, with the right partnerships, this venue has a real positive impact on our local economy. So again, more on that. I'm very excited. I want to thank the team that helped put everything together, not only with regard to the feasibility study, sports advisors, but also our team working on yesterday's press conference and making sure that the media understood all of the facts and circumstances of the impact that this venue will have in our community. We're anticipating some real summertime weather this coming week. And with that, as I often do, I ask people to remember, you know, if you have elderly people in your neighborhood or even in your family, these are the days you should at least check on them. Make sure that, if their homes have air conditioning, make sure the air conditioning is working. If their homes don't, then please just make sure you check in on them, that they're doing okay, because temperatures that are going to creep into the 90s can be a bit oppressive for our seniors and for others who might be dealing with certain disabilities. So, instead of acts of random kindness, let's provide some acts of routine kindness. Let's make it a routine to be kind to one another, be kind to those who are in need, and let's really take stock of ourselves as honeymoon capital of the world is what people say. Well, honeymoons are great. So let's take a look at ourselves and let's be those positive influences to our families, to our neighbors, to our friends. So if you're going to be out and around this weekend, school's out. My friend Jake is here with me because he doesn't have anything else to do over there now. Now he's out of school and he's getting ready to go on to the next phase. So and by the way, congratulations to him and to all our graduates. This is the next phase of your life. So grab it with both hands. Don't be afraid. I say this all the time. I said it to the members of the children in our family as they were moving on. It's okay at this stage to not know exactly what you want to do. Now, that being said, what is probably the best course is that if you don't know what you want to do, make sure you're doing something. If you're not quite ready to go to college, then at least make sure you're working. Get a sense of, keep that sense of responsibility that carried you through school, where you're getting up for a purpose, you're doing something. That may not be the career you want to have, but as you're doing that, you may start thinking about college. And if college is in your future, don't lose track of the fact that we have a great community college, SUNY Niagara, right in our backyard. If an immediate four-year institution like Niagara University isn't in your future, SUNY Niagara is a great place to start. Affordable, some great class choices, transfer of credits. So there's a number of things that make that choice a good one. So if you're if as you're out and about now that you've graduated, just make sure you stay busy. And again, if you're out for recreation over this weekend and in the coming week, make sure you stay hydrated. You know, it can get very, in the hot and humid time, if you're doing things outside, you can get dehydrated quickly. So please make sure that you stay hydrated. So, by the way, with regard to the feasibility study, geez, I almost forgot to tell everybody. If you want to take a look at it, again, go to our website, click on the Government tab. You will get a drop-down menu, and you'll see a tab that says Entertainment Facility. At that tab, you will be able to find, excuse me, the feasibility study that we presented yesterday. And I invite you to take a look at it. I also invite you to realize that Niagara Falls really is entitled to have a first-class venue like that. You and I are entitled to that. And so let's not lose track of the fact that, you know, we as a community have a great return on investment for those who have invested here, whether it's the hotel owners or the state park or even the money that the Power Authority makes in respect to their entire the entire Power Authority framework. Niagara Falls is a great investment opportunity. You get return on investment here. So we are certainly eager to move that along. But again, that's where you can find the feasibility study if you're looking for it on our website. Again, I want to invite people as we go through our road repair season to join our text alert system. You text the word resident to 716-325-5723, 716 Falls 23, 716-325-5723. Text the word resident, put you through a couple of prompts. Once you're done with that, then you'll receive text messages on things that are happening, whether it's Food Truck Thursday, other events that are going on throughout the city. For instance, going out to see our baseball team, the Niagara Falls Americans, who are having a pretty good start to their season. Get out there to the new and improved Salem Agley Stadium. More improvements are coming, as well as to the entirety of Hyde Park and some of our other parks in town. So a lot of things going on in Niagara Falls. We've almost completed the street lighting program, so more on that as we start to get into the discussion on technology for our street lights. But again, be safe this weekend, and if you're out and about, please make sure that you stay hydrated. Look in on seniors and those who might be disabled. Let's be a community that cares about one another. And again, instead of random acts of kindness, let's have acts of routine kindness. It's really the better path, and it's something that I know we as residents of Niagara Falls really have in the fabric of who we are. So until I get to talk to you next week, please enjoy the weekend.